Good morning and welcome to Claret and Booze. I'm back. It's me, John, aka Virgil. Welcome to my daily ramble this morning on Tuesday, the 5th of November. I've been missing in action, haven't I? I mean, a couple of weeks ago, me and Nick went Benidorm for a friend's birthday, 40th birthday. And then just this weekend, I've been in Portugal watching my son play for the mighty Leyton Orient in a very high-end tournament. And just to give them a massive shout out, well done, boys. 2 draws against European giants Benfica and Sporting Lisbon. Anyway, as I say, I've been missing in action. I've been watching and listening from afar. Obviously, I've kept my eye on everything West Ham, the Twitter world, the social media world, and of course, what's been going on the pitch. And it just seems we're going around in circles. I would say that if you went back over the last 3 years, you're probably going to see a video very similar to today's video, where I'm just going to be dissecting bit by bit what I believe to be the problem. And ultimately, the main problem is lack of leadership. And I don't even mean in terms of the manager, the person who's sitting in the dugout. I don't mean who's the captain of the team on the grass pitch as they cross that white line to lead the team into battle and hopefully get 3 points for the fans, whether it be at home or an away game. Ultimately, the problem lies with Mr. David Sullivan. And I'm going to call it out for what it is. This guy is an absolute fucking egomaniac. He's egotistical. He wants to be front and centre of everything that he sees that is good for the club. And we've seen it already this season. We've seen already this season that he distances himself from players that aren't doing particularly well, and he will put his hand up and call it for what it is in his eyes, that he made the signing of, let's say, Jimmy Somerville, because the fans liked what they saw with Somerville in the brief appearances earlier on this season. Now, to me, what Sullivan is doing and has been doing since he's been in charge with us, since he's owned the club, is building his ego relentlessly. And because we live in an information age now where everything is on social media and people crave constant information, he uses that to his advantage. And I'm fucking pissed off with the people, or should I call them parasites, who feed off of this little shit. The people that will tell you that a senior source or something along those lines, when we know exactly what they mean David Sullivan, senior, is feeding information out because he wants them to leak it. He wants them to build up his reputation, his ego, his profile with the fans. Well, let me fucking tell you something, David. We're not falling for it. Ultimately, everything that goes on at this club is down to you. The good times, the bad times, etc., etc. The fucking circus that constantly follows us around. And those of you, I don't give a monkeys if this offends people, to be honest with you, those of you that use the information he gives to peddle out on your social media choice, whether it be Twitter, YouTube or whatever, you're as bad as him. You're feeding his fucking ego and you are nothing more than his puppets, right? You're using your contact to basically pump out and market this man on his behalf. You're using your platform to try and, give yourself popularity, give yourself, tick points, bonus points. I don't know what you're trying to achieve. But you're meant to be a West Ham fan like me, like Nick, like everyone else that watches these shows. You shouldn't be supporting this man. You shouldn't be peddling out his rhetoric about this game's a big game, or, the manager's got 5 more games, or now we're hearing that Lopetegui, Everton's a big game. It's a must win. Every game's a fucking must win in the Premier League. That's what we're there to do. Must win. At all costs. You don't go into a game to draw, do you? Doesn't matter the stick that Lopetegui's getting now, right? He's not going into these games to lose or draw. Whether he's right or wrong, obviously, ultimately, people are going to say he's wrong in a lot of what he's doing, tactically, etc. He's not going in there to lose. So for an owner to peddle the same old shit that this game is a must-win and basically try and gauge, you know, the fan base's reaction to it, is fucking disgraceful. And those that peddle the words of this man, you are as guilty as him. You are fucking parasites. And I'm sorry if that offends you, but I don't care anymore, right? Because you are part of the fucking problem. And I'm fucking sick of seeing it everywhere, right? Now, people are going to come on here and say, oh, Nick spreads rumours or information that he gets from someone. Yeah, but he shares it, right? There's no propaganda involved. There's no narrative involved. We don't charge you for that information. He gives it to you as he gets it, whether you believe it or not. The circus continues at West Ham, and Sullivan is the main culprit. I was talking last night to a group of West Ham fans, and, you know, someone on there said, you know, God forbid, didn't want to say it, but we'd be in a better state under Moyes. I had to disagree. When we won that conference final, and if you've seen me talk about it before, I applauded that. I did not underplay it. I did not bemoan the fact that it was only Conference League. I congratulated Moyes. I loved it. That trophy win was 43 years in the making. That trophy win should have been a catalyst for this club to push on. Push on where, I hear you ask? Well, we don't know. But it was a golden opportunity for the club to thank Moyes, in my opinion, for this massive achievement and to move on and to gradually build upon the success that, yes, David Moyes gave us with that trophy win. We would have been in a far stronger position going into another season in Europe to possibly attract a better caliber of manager, a more successful manager, a new up-and-coming manager, but not, again, another manager coming in to try and rebuild their reputation. Unfortunately, because of the way Sullivan does things, i.e. doesn't pay compensation, doesn't like to pay managers off, the delay in the situation with Moyes has had a knock-on effect until now. And I'm not slagging off Moyes. I always said he should have gone at the top. And the owner of the club, the captain of the ship, should have made that decision. But this guy hasn't got the balls. He is so obsessed with his own reputation that, in fact, he divers more than anybody. How the fuck he's successful in business, I'll never know. I can only think that Gold was a better businessman than Sullivan, and Sullivan, to some extent, hung on to Gold's coat strings. The leader, the owner, the captain of such a huge business, such a big football club like we are, cannot sit on his hands. And this guy is a fucking coward. He cannot make any decisions. He cannot make any decisions without pumping it out to his parasital friends on social media to pump out and try and gauge. Oh, run a poll for me. Run a fucking poll? If you was any kind of man any kind of leader, you would not even care what people think about you. You would be able to make tough decisions, right? You would be able to be a leader and lead by example. And I've said it millions of times before. Until we have a leader who runs the club properly, the club will always be up and down, inconsistent, and in many people's eyes, a circus, right? That conference win, that Europa League conference win, should have been a catalyst for change. That should have been the starting point to breed a winning mentality back into the club, back into the squad. But everything was left to go out on a whimper, right? After that, there was nowhere else Moyes could go. He couldn't get any better. And I loved him for it, as I say. But keeping him on had a knock-on effect. We had players that left in that January because they felt let down by Moyes. They wasn't played anymore. Fornals, to name many. Players didn't want to be here anymore because of what Moyes had done, leaving them out in the cold. And it all comes from Sullivan not getting rid of him at the right time. We're then left in a situation where we can't attract better managers because we're no longer in Europe. We hear yesterday from Amorim, who's now going to Manchester United from Sporting, that he flew over to West Ham but had no real intention of signing for the club. Bollocks. He flew over to West Ham, or otherwise, why would you fly over to meet representatives at West Ham? He'd already spoken to Tim. He flew over. He probably thought he was going to meet Daniel Kutinsky, and instead he bought the world's worst Bond villain, probably wearing a fucking purple velvet suit. Would you work for him? No, I fucking wouldn't. And this is why, and one of the reasons in my mind, I'm concerned. I'm concerned because people are calling for Lopetegui to go. And I get it. Football's been turgid. There isn't really identity as of yet. But we are only 10 games in. However, what are we going to get if he goes? Who are we going to get if he goes? Okay, we've got a good squad on paper. But that's not enough. You've still got the mug at the top. You've still got the off-the-field problems with Paqueta's betting. Alvarez seems to have lost his head. And then you've got the Tim Steidten problem. Now, I see on social media that some accounts are attacking Tim. And in my mind, by attacking Tim, you're almost defending Sullivan. And I can't see any West Ham fan genuinely defending Sullivan. And if you do, please tell me. Yes, we've spent a lot of money, right? I get that. And ultimately, some of the signings thus far have been successful, some haven't, right? But I've seen people defending Sullivan. If I say Somerville's a good signing, Wan-Bissaka's a good signing, people go, oh yeah, but that was a Sullivan signing. Like the anti-Tim brigade. Oh, that was a Sullivan signing. Well, answer this. He shouldn't be fucking signing anybody. He has employed a director of football to do the job for him. But he cannot keep his fucking grubby fingers out of the situation. The whole point of a sporting director is to let him have carte blanche over who we bring in and what manager we bring in. So the problem with Lopetegui's working relationship with Tim is because of Sullivan. The players coming in from all sorts of, different people to the club is Sullivan's problem again. Why is he still buying players? If you're paying a sporting director a lot of money, why are you still getting involved in signing players? Oh, me. I signed Somerville. Quick, tell them I signed Somerville because the fans seem to like him. You fucking nut job. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. And you people peddling his shit out on your social media platforms, You're a fucking disgrace, and you are a part of the problem because you're allowing this guy to fucking basically try and manipulate this fan base. That's what you're doing. You're giving him the opportunity to try and manipulate us. But let me tell you something, it ain't fucking working. Most West Ham fans ain't fucking idiots, right? We know exactly where the problem lies, and it will always lie there at the door of that man. He missed an opportunity because he can't make a fucking decision. He's got no balls. We are where we are now because of him. We're not going to get relegated, right? We are not going to get relegated. But I just pray to God that there's something in the pipeline. I pray to God that Kretinsky is going to at some point take over this club entirely because we need a fucking shake-up. It's like Groundhog Day. Once or twice a season, I do a video like this. But he don't give a fuck because he'll still use mugs who are part of the problem to peddle his fucking name out there and do him a poll. I'm fucking sick of it. I am sick of it. And I don't blame Lopetegui and I don't blame Tim Steidten, right? Everyone's going nuts now because it seems like Lopetegui is using, what's that Spanish journalist name's Guilherme or what his bloody name is, to peddle out stuff from his perspective, and Tim's using Romano to peddle out stuff from his perspective. But they've got to come out fighting because Sullivan is throwing people under the bus. The leader of this club, the owner of this club, is throwing people that he's employed under the bus. No, a leader comes out and shows fucking support. I've said this a million times before. He is not a fucking leader. He should be supporting and congratulating Tim. He should be supporting and congratulating Lopetegui. He should be supporting Paqueta. He should be coming out and doing a press conference and saying the club supports Paqueta. Come out and do it publicly because you don't do nothing public. You hide behind people in order to protect yourself because you're a fucking coward and you've got no leadership qualities whatsoever. Because you ultimately only care about your own reputation. You do not care about the fan base, but yet you want to use the fan base for your own fucking gain and try and manipulate us, mate. No fucking chance. No chance. I had a discussion with someone last night suggesting that Tim Steidten is being worshipped like some hero. No, he's not being worshipped like some hero. He will make mistakes on signings, and he's probably made mistakes before elsewhere, right? However, once again, he can't do his job properly. He's hamstrung. Everybody at that club is hamstrung by the little gimp upstairs. In most situations, Tim probably would have walked by now. And my mindset is one of hope. Hopefully, there's something in the pipeline. Maybe he knows Kretinsky's coming in the next year or so, or at the end of the season, to take over. Maybe I'm clutching at straws. I genuinely don't know anymore. But I tell you for one, what's happening to me, right? And you can call me out for all you want to call me. I've had a season ticket. I don't want a round of applause for this, by the way, or a fucking medal. I've had a season ticket straight, right, for 27 years straight. I'm bored going over there now. And I don't even know if it's the style of football. I don't even know if it's Lopetegui, just everything about it. And I know many people are in the same situation as me. Good, long-serving West Ham fans who fucking bleed claret and blue, right? Something's got to give. And I beg those people, I implore you, if you are a West Ham fan, if you are West Ham fans and aren't just in it for your own game, stop fucking peddling this fucking idiot shit. Stop gauging the public or the supporters' perception of him on his behalf. Fuck him off. You get no respect from us for it. You are part of the problem. He's the main problem, and you are part of it as well. I've just had enough. I'm sick of it all. I'm sick of it. We've been in the Premier League, 5th or 6th most out of all Premier League teams ever. The longevity we've had in the Premier League is vast. And what do we do with it? Fuck all. We're a huge club with a fucking magnificent fan base in the main. But people are falling away. And if you are watching this, Mr. Sullivan, which you probably ain't, but if it gets back to you in any way, shape or form, mate, thank you very much. But please, can we have our fucking club back? Because I'm sick of it now. Sell it to someone. We need, we need fresh blood. We need an owner who will leave it down to a fucking director of football who does things in the proper way. It fucking pains me to say it, right? I'm not saying I'm falling out of love with West Ham. I'm not. But I'm falling out of love with going over there at the minute. And I'm not even blaming Lopetegui for that. There's a total discord and a total disharmony. And I don't blame Lopetegui and Stydon for coming out and fighting their corner. Because you know what? They've got their professional reputation to defend as well. And if they see the man at the top doing it, then why shouldn't they? Anyway, look, I've gone on enough. Getting a little bit emotional now, but anyway. So that's where I'm at with it at the minute. I want my club back. I want the club back. We need people who really care about the club, not themselves. Anyway, please hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Claret and Booze. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I'm sorry if I swear too much for people, but I've ultimately had enough. Thanks for watching. Take care, people. Come on, you ones.